The stars above the outer edge of the galaxy were calm and cold. Long lines of light stretched across the dark as ships moved through deep space. This region was far from trade routes and far from war. Most species avoided it. Their maps showed a wide, empty zone marked with one clear warning: Terran territory. Entry forbidden. For centuries, that warning had remained unchanged. No borders, no military symbols, no threat words. Just a simple message repeated in every known language. Many races respected it. Some feared it. Others whispered that the Terrans were watching even now. The Galactic Empire did not fear warnings. The Empire ruled through strength and size. Its fleets were countless. Soldiers had crushed stars into silence. When the High Council received reports of an off-limits region blocking a new expansion route, they reacted with anger, not caution. To them, a warning without force was an insult. Admiral Cale Varen stood on the command deck of the flagship Dominion of Light. He watched the stars scroll past the main screen as the fleet advanced. Hundreds of massive warships followed him in perfect formation. Their hulls glowed with power. Their weapons were ready, though none had been fired. Cale was calm but curious. He had read the reports. Humans were a young species compared to the Empire. They appeared late on the galactic stage and stayed quiet. They fought few wars and claimed little space. Intelligence files described them as cautious builders, not conquerors. Yet here they were, blocking an entire sector. Sensors showed no mines, no stations, no patrols. Empty space stretched before them. The warning signal repeated softly across the bridge speakers. Terran territory. Entry forbidden.
Oh.
Several officers laughed. Navigation Commander Cyrex tilted his head.
Oh.
He was older than most and had seen many campaigns. Something about the silence troubled him. No defense line, he said quietly. No response fleet, not even a threat message. Cale glanced at him, and they have nothing to show. The fleet crossed the invisible boundary.
Once something felt wrong.
The stars ahead shifted. Not vanished, but changed. Sensors reported impossible readings. Distances folded. Time markers drifted. Communications between ships began to lag by seconds, then minutes. Engineering teams reported stable reactors. Weapons systems were fine, hull integrity perfect, yet the fleet felt blind. A smaller scout vessel, at the edge of the formation, suddenly lost contact. Its signal cut out without warning. No explosion, no debris, just gone. The bridge fell silent. Cale ordered a scan. Nothing appeared. Another ship vanished. Panic crept into voices. Officers checked their stations again and again. The warning signal continued calmly, unchanged. Terran territory, entry forbidden. Cale felt anger rise. Whoever was doing this was mocking them. He ordered a probe launched. The small, unmanned craft shot forward, sending live data. For a moment, everything was clear. Then the image blurred. A voice came through the channel. "This is your final notice." The voice was human, calm, even tired, not threatening, not proud. "Turn back." Then the probe went dark. The bridge exploded into argument. Some officers demanded immediate attack. Others called for retreat. Cyrex stared at the screen, his eyes wide. "They are close," he whispered. Cale clenched his fist. The Empire did not retreat from shadows. He ordered the fleet to advance further. As they moved deeper, the space around them changed again. Stars dimmed. Navigation points vanished. Some ships drifted off course without thrusters firing. Timestamps no longer matched between vessels. Still no enemy appeared. Then something massive moved. Not a ship, not a station. Space itself opened like a door, and a human vessel emerged. It was smaller than the Empire flagships, dark and angular. No markings, no lights beyond faint blue lines along its hull. It did not raise shields, it did not charge weapons. It simply waited. More followed. Dozens of human ships appeared silently surrounding the Empire fleet at a distance. They held no formation of attack. They did not block escape paths. They watched. The human voice returned. "You were warned." Cale stood tall. "Identify yourselves," he demanded. There was a pause. "We are Terran Defense Command. This region is closed for your safety." Safety. Cale laughed. You interfere with Imperial movement? Withdraw or be destroyed? No reply came at first. Then the human voice spoke again. Your weapons will not work here. Your fleet is intact because we allow it. Turn back now. Several Empire captains tested their weapons. Energy charges fired into empty space. Nothing happened. No impact. No reaction. Duh. The beams vanished as if swallowed. Engineering reports flooded in. Weapon systems were active, but space around the ships absorbed all output. Fear spread. Kale felt it too, though he hid it well. He realized then that this was not a bluff. This was control beyond anything the Empire had faced. Why? He asked. Another pause. Because what lies beyond this space must never be disturbed. The human ships did not move closer. They did not threaten. They did not chase. They waited. Behind Kale on the bridge, the warning signal continued softly. Terran territory. Entry forbidden. For the first time in his long career, Admiral Kale Varone understood something terrifying. The Empire had not arrived to conquer. It had arrived too close to something the humans were guarding, and whatever it was had already noticed them. The human ships remained still around the Empire fleet. They did not close in. They did not attack. That silence was worse than any weapon. Admiral Kale Varone felt it press against his thoughts. The Empire fleet had faced enemies that screamed and charged, while this enemy waited. Kale ordered all ships to hold position. His voice stayed firm, but his mind raced. Every system report told the same story. Power stable, hulls intact, weapons ready. And yet nothing worked the way it should. Space itself felt wrong. The human voice had said this region was closed for safety. That idea angered Kale. The Empire was never protected by others. It was the protector or the destroyer. He opened a wide channel. Explain yourselves. You interfere with Imperial authority? The reply came slowly, as if the speaker chose words carefully. Authority does not apply here. This space exists to prevent disaster. Some officers scoffed. Others stayed silent. Navigation Commander Cyrex leaned closer to Kale. They are not afraid, he said. That worries me. Before Kale could answer, another Empire ship drifted sideways. Its engines had not fired. It moved as if pulled by an unseen tide. The captain shouted for help, but control did not return. The ship slid deeper into Terran space, and then vanished, just like the scouts before. No explosion, no trace. Fear finally took hold. Kale ordered emergency scans of the surrounding region. The data made no sense. Space folded into strange shapes. Distances changed when measured twice. Time signals from different ships showed small differences that kept growing. This was not normal physics. One junior officer whispered a word heard only by those near him. Trap Kale ignored him and addressed the human ships again. You are destroying our vessels. No, the human replied calmly. Your ships are drifting into zones you cannot survive. We are preventing worse outcomes. What lies ahead? Kale demanded. Silence followed. Longer than before. Then the human voice spoke softer. A prison. The word echoed across the bridge. A prison for what another officer shouted. For something older than your empire, something that almost destroyed us. Kale felt a chill. The Empire record spoke of ancient horrors and dead civilizations, myths told to frighten young commanders. Humans were known for stories and warnings. Perhaps this was another tale meant to scare them away. Show proof, Kale said. Very well. Space ahead shimmered. The darkness folded inward. A window opened. What appeared beyond was not empty space. It was broken stars twisted into impossible shapes. Massive structures floated like bones of dead gods. Energy storms raged without heat or light, and far within that chaos something moved. Not clearly, not fully, just a shape large enough to bend everything around it. Several officers collapsed. Others stared, unable to speak. Their minds struggled to understand scale and form. Kale forced himself to look. His training kept him standing, but his hands shook. What is that? He asked quietly. The human answered. It has no single name. It consumes systems. It warps reality. We barely stopped it centuries ago. This territory exists to contain it. Kale realized then why Terran space was empty. Why no trade passed through. Why maps avoided it. And this was not a border. It was a cage. Why tell us now? Kale asked. Because you cross the final boundary, because if your fleet disrupts containment, the galaxy dies. A low alarm sounded. Several Empire ships reported system strain. Walls vibrated as unseen forces pressed against them. Kale saw the truth. The Empire fleet was not being attacked. It was being held back from tearing something open. He turned to Cyrex. "Prepare retreat orders," some officers protested. Retreat was shameful, but Kale silenced them. "This is no battle," he said. "This is survival." He opened the channel one final time. "We will withdraw," and the human voice answered immediately. "Wise." As the Empire fleet began to turn, something else changed. The massive shape beyond the rift stirred, space rippled. Energy surged. The human ships moved at last. They shifted positions, creating invisible walls, guiding the Empire fleet away from danger. Several damaged ships were pulled back into stable space. Kale watched as the rift slowly closed. The chaos beyond vanished. The stars returned to normal. Only then did the pressure lift. The fleet crossed back over the boundary. Systems stabilized. Weapons responded again. Navigation returned. The warning signal faded. Terran territory, entry forbidden. The human ships remained for a moment longer. "Remember this," the human voice said. "We do not threaten, we guard." Then the ships vanished as silently as they had appeared. Kale sank into his command chair. Around him, officers sat in stunned silence. The Empire fleet lived, but its pride was shattered. The Galactic Empire had ignored the warning. Now it knew the cost of coming too close. Far away within Terran territory, something ancient shifted in its sleep, and humanity continued its watch. The Empire fleet moved in silence as it retreated from Terran space. No victory signals were sent. No reports of conquest were celebrated. The great armada that once filled its crews with pride now felt heavy and small. Admiral Kale Veron stood alone on the bridge long after most officers had returned to their duties. Every commander aboard felt it. Something had changed. The stars looked the same. The ships still moved under Imperial command. Yet the certainty that had guided the Empire for generations was gone. They had seen something that could not be unlearned. As the fleet reached safe distance, Kale ordered a full report. Data streamed in from every ship. System errors. Time drift records. Sensor distortions. All of it confirmed the same truth. Terran territory did not follow known laws of space. More disturbing were the recordings from the brief window into the prison. Several officers refused to review them again. Others could not stop watching, as if trying to understand the shape that moved beyond reason. Kale summoned the senior command council aboard his flagship. Faces appeared on the central display. Hardened generals, veteran admirals. All of them looked uneasy. "Speak," Kale said. "No titles, no pride, only truth." An old fleet master named Rao Vox was the first to respond. "I have fought 100 wars," he said. "I have seen worlds burn. What we saw was not an enemy we can fight." Others agreed. Some spoke of ancient legends from their home species. Stories of things locked away at the edge of reality, creatures that fed on stars, forces that erased entire histories. Humans were never mentioned in those myths. That troubled them most. "Why did humans know?" Kale asked. Silence followed. Intelligence Director Mira Chen finally spoke. Her species valued data above fear. "Humans arrived late in galactic records," she said, "but their early history shows constant conflict. Internal wars, global destruction. They faced extinction many times before reaching the stars." She paused. Perhaps they learned lessons the rest of us did not. Kale recalled the human voice. Calm, tired, responsible. Not proud of power, but burdened by it. "Why hide this?" Kale asked. "Why not warn the galaxy openly?" "Because panic spreads faster than truth," Chen replied. "And because power attracts challengers." The council grew quiet. Another admiral spoke bitterly. "The Empire will be mocked when this spreads." Kale shook his head. "No, we will be feared less, and respected more if we are wise." The meeting ended with one order. All data regarding Terran territory was sealed at the highest level. Only the High Council would know the full truth. Yet secrets never stay hidden. Whispers began within the fleet. Crews spoke of drifting ships and silent human vessels, of weapons that vanished into nothing, of something vast moving beyond the stars. Rumors spread to trading ports and border worlds. Maps were quietly updated. Routes shifted. Explorers avoided a growing red zone marked simply as Terran space. Meanwhile, within Terran territory, the human ships returned to their posts. Deep within a command station hidden between folded stars, Terran Defense Command reviewed the incident. Officers spoke in measured tones. Loss reports were minimal. Containment integrity held. Commander Elia Reyes stood before the central display. She'd spoken to the Empire fleet. They crossed the final line, she said. We warned them. They listened eventually. An older officer nodded. They always do when they see it. Another asked the question none liked to voice. How long can we hold it? Leah looked at the containment readings. Stable for now, she said. The pressure increases every century. Silence filled the room. Humanity had not claimed the stars for glory. They had claimed this place for duty. Ancestors had paid dearly to stop the ancient thing. Entire systems sacrificed, entire histories erased. The galaxy never knew, never must. Back aboard the Empire flagship, Kale stared at the stars again. He felt smaller than he ever had, yet also strangely relieved. The Empire no longer stood alone at the top of the galaxy. Someone else carried a heavier burden. A message arrived from the High Council. Return, you will report in person. Kale knew questions would follow. Blame would be assigned. Pride would resist truth, but he would speak honestly. For once, fear was justified. As the fleet jumped to hyperspace, Kale whispered words meant only for himself. Thank you for stopping us. Far behind them, Terran territory returned to silence. Human ships drifted unseen. Sensors watched for any disturbance. And deep within the prison, something stirred again. It pressed against invisible walls. It remembered pain. It sensed movement beyond its cage. It waited. Humanity waited too, not as conquerors, but as guardians. The night came quietly over the forest world. Tall blue trees stood still under a sky filled with strange stars. Soft glowing plants lit the ground like hidden lamps. Everything looked calm, too calm. At the center of the clearing stood the royal camp. Silver alien ships rested on the soil like sleeping beasts. Guards moved slowly, watching the dark tree line. This planet was not hostile, but it was not safe either. Inside the main command tent, the alien princess stood alone. She was tall and graceful, her pale skin glowing softly under the lights. Long braided hair fell down her back, woven with thin golden threads. Her eyes, bright and sharp, stared at a floating map of the planet. She was far from home. This journey was meant to be peaceful, a simple diplomatic mission. No wars, no threats. Just travel, learning, and rest. Most of all, it was meant to be time with her daughters. The princess turned as soft footsteps approached. Two small figures ran toward her, laughing. Her daughters, twins, young, curious, and full of energy. They were smaller than her, with the same pale skin and glowing eyes. Their laughter filled the tent with warmth. Mother, one of them said, holding her hand. Can we sleep outside tonight? The other asked eagerly.
Yes.
The princess smiled, though her heart felt uneasy. Outside, she asked. Why? The stars are brighter here, one daughter said. And the air smells nice, the other added. Please. The princess looked at the guards outside the tent, strong, alert. Many of them. The planet's scans showed no nearby threats. Still, something inside her felt tight. She knelt down and placed her hands on their shoulders. You may sleep outside, she said slowly. But close to the camp, guards will watch you at all times. The girls cheered and hugged her. Thank you, Mother, they said together. The princess watched as they ran toward a small sleeping tent placed near the edge of the camp. She stood there longer than she needed to, watching until the guards closed the tent. Only then did she return inside. The night grew deeper. The camp lights dimmed. Guards rotated positions. Sensors scanned the forest again and again. Everything read normal. The world tilt. She ran. Her feet moved faster than thought. Guards followed, shouting orders. Lights turned on across the camp. Weapons were raised. Daughter's tent stood before her. The entrance was open. The inside was empty. No children, no signs of struggle, no blood, no torn fabric, no broken ground. The princess dropped to her knees. No, she whispered. The guard scanned the area wildly. How is this possible? One shouted. The sensors showed nothing. Another said. The princess stood, her calm breaking into something dangerous. Search the forest, she ordered.
Oh.
Drones lifted into the air, glowing eyes cutting through the dark. Soldiers spread out, weapons ready. Energy scanners swept the ground. Minutes passed, then a voice came through the channel. My princess, a soldier said, his tone uncertain. We are detecting a life signal. Where? She demanded. The soldier paused. It is human. Silence fell. The princess clenched her fists. Human. The word carried weight. Stories, warnings, fear. Humans were rare in this region, unpredictable, emotional. Some called them violent. Others called them weak. None called them safe. And the children? She asked. Another pause. They are. Near the signal, the princess felt cold. A human had her daughters. Her mind filled with dark images, kidnapping, experiments, death. Her voice hardened. Surround the location, she said. Do not attack unless ordered. I want the human alive. The soldiers obeyed. The princess followed, her heart pounding with every step. They moved deeper into the forest, away from the lights of the camp. The trees closed around them. Shadows twisted. Strange sounds echoed. Then they saw it. A small tent. Simple. Fabric-worn. Faint warm light glowed from inside. The human signal came from there. The princess raised her hand. The soldiers stopped. Weapons aimed. Drones hovered silently. She stepped forward alone. Her breath shook. She reached for the tent entrance. Whatever waited inside would change her life forever. She pulled it open, froze. The tent opened slowly. Warm light spilled into the cold forest night. It was soft and calm, nothing like a trap or a prison. The princess expected screams, blood, or fear. She saw none of it. Inside the tent, a human man slept on his side. His body was turned protectively inward. His arms were wrapped around two small figures. Her daughters, they were safe. They were warm, were smiling in their sleep. The princess stopped breathing. The girls were curled against the human's chest, their small hands gripping his clothes, as if they feared he might disappear. Their ears twitched softly. Their faces were peaceful. No injuries, no fear, only trust. Behind the princess, alien soldiers froze. Weapons lowered slightly, confusion spreading across their faces. This was not what they expected. The princess took one step closer. Her legs felt weak. Her heart felt torn in two directions at once. Relief crashed into her like a wave. Then anger followed, then fear again. She raised her hand sharply. Do not touch them, she whispered. The human stirred slightly but did not wake. His face was rough, marked by fatigue and old scars. His clothes were torn and dirty. He looked thin, tired, and alone. Not a monster, not a warrior, just a man. One of the daughters shifted in her sleep and pressed closer to him. The human adjusted his arm instinctively, holding. His eyes snapped open. His body stiffened when he saw the glowing soldiers, the weapons, the drones, hovering above him. He did not reach for a weapon. He raised his hands slowly. I didn't hurt them, he said quickly. His voice was rough but calm. I swear. The princess studied him in silence. Her daughters climbed off him and ran to her, hugging her tightly. We're okay, one said. He kept us safe, the other added. The princess knelt and held them both. Her fingers trembled. You left the camp, she said softly. Why? The daughters looked at each other. There were noises, one said. Big shadow beasts, the other added. They were scared. The princess's eyes sharpened. Night predators. She knew them. Silent hunters that avoided sensors. How did you meet him? She asked. The girls pointed at the human. He came when we cried, one said. He chased the shadows away, the other said. He stayed so we wouldn't be alone. The human lowered his hands slowly. I heard them crying, he said. I didn't know who they were. I just knew they were kids. The princess stood. Her guards tensed. You are human, she said coldly. Yes, he answered. I am. You know what humans are to my people? She said. He nodded. I've heard the stories. We hear stories too. And yet, you took my daughters, she said, her voice sharp. I didn't take them, he replied. They ran to me. The forest was silent. Alien scanners hummed softly. A guard checked the readings and frowned. My princess, the guard said quietly. No signs of aggression, no deception. The princess looked at the human again. Why did you not run? She asked. The human met her eyes. Because they needed me, he said simply. The princess felt anger fade, replaced by something far more dangerous. Doubt, she turned to her guards. Restrain him, she ordered. Gently, the daughters reacted instantly. No one shouted. Don't hurt him, the other cried. They clung to the human's arms. He saved us, one said. He stayed all night, the other added. The human looked down at them. It's okay, he said softly, not scared. The princess closed her eyes for a moment. Then she spoke. He will come with us, she said. He will not be harmed. The guards hesitated. A human inside the royal ship. One whispered. My word stands, the princess replied. She looked at the human again.